Hello. In this video, I'll be discussing about an amendment to section 43 capital B H of Income Tax Act 1961, which deals with disallowance of expenditure for payments not made within stipulated time limit to MSMEs as specified under MSMED Act 2006. This section is amended as part of government's commitment to support MSMEs to meet their working capital requirements. For an enterprise to be classified as micro, the investment should be less than 1 crore and the annual turnover should be less than 5 crores. For an enterprise to be classified as small, the investment should be less than 10 crores and the annual turnover should be less than 50 crores. For an enterprise to be classified as medium enterprise, the investment should be less than 50 crores and the annual turnover should be less than 250 crores. As per the plain reading of this section, it is very clear that a buyer of goods or services can claim an expenditure as deduction from his total income only if the payments to micro and small enterprises are made within the time limit specified under Section 15 of MSMED Act 2006. The next question is, how can an assessee identify whether his supplier is a micro or a small enterprise? For this purpose, an assessee has to obtain Udyam registration certificate from his supplier wherein the classification would be specified. If the supplier do not have Udyam registration certificate, then the disallowance of expenditure for the assessee will not attract. It is the responsibility of the assessee to get a confirmation whether the supplier is a micro or small enterprise. One more important thing to be observed. Benefit of Section 15 of MSMED Act is not applicable for traders. So, disallowance under Section 43 BH will not be attracted for payments due to traders. This section is not applicable for expenditures payable to medium enterprises. So, it is clear that disallowance under this section will attract only if the payments are not made to micro and small enterprises within stipulated time limit. This section is applicable for expenses incurred from 1/4/2023, that is from financial year 2023 and 24. The next thing is, what is the time limit specified under MSMED Act 2006? If you can have a look at the slide, the first branch says if there is any written agreement between the buyer and the supplier, then the date specified in the agreement or 45 days, whichever is earlier, will be the time limit. If there is no specific written agreement between the buyer and the supplier, then within 15 days of acceptance of goods or services will be the time limit. Let us have some examples to have better idea. If you can have a look at the screen, in the first case, the supply or receipt date is 25/3/2024 and the date of payment is 28/3/2024, which is just 3 days from the date of receipt. And there is a written agreement which says that the payment should be made before 9/5/2024, which is less than 45 days. In this case, the expenditure will not be disallowed as the payment is made within the agreed date. If there is no written agreement, then also the expenditure will not be disallowed as the payment is made within 15 days. In the second case, the bill date is 25/3/2024 and the actual date of payment is 30th April 2024, which is after the financial year. Then, as per the agreement date, the payment is made before 9/5/2024 and within 45 days, so the expenditure will not be disallowed. In case of no return agreement, the payment is made beyond 15 days, so the expenditure will be disallowed for the financial year 2023 and 24, but the expenditure will be allowed as deduction in the financial year 2024 and 25 in which the payment is made. In the third case, the bill date is 25/3/2024 and the actual date of payment is 15/5/2024. In this case, the payment is made after the agreement date of 9/5/2024, so the expenditure will be disallowed for the financial year 2023 and 24, but the same will be allowed as deduction in the financial year 2024 and 25 in which the payment is made. In case where the written agreement is not there, the expenditure is paid after 15 days. So in this case also, the expenditure will be disallowed for the financial year 2023 and 24 and will be allowed as expenditure in the financial year 2024 and 25 in which the payment is made. One more important thing to be kept in mind is that for some statutory payments, if they are not made within the due date but made before filing income tax return, those statutory expenses will be allowed as expenditure. But under section 43 capital BH, if the payments are not made to micro and small enterprises within the specified time limit, they will not be allowed as expenditure, though the payment is made before filing income tax return. What are the consequences if this section gets triggered in your case? Expenditure will be added to the taxable income of the assessee while calculating his taxable income. But if the payment is made in the subsequent year, it will be allowed as expenditure in the year in which the payment is being made. So, in order to avoid disallowance under section 43 capital BH, payments to micro and small enterprises from 1/4/2023 should be made within 45 days or the agreement date, or where the agreement is not present, within 15 days from the date of bill or receipt of goods or services. Thank you, and I wish you all a very successful year ahead.